All right, welcome back, everybody. Episode number 15. A lot of these guys here. My name's Nick.
I'm Zach.
All right, obviously, you can see this is not Brandon here. Brandon is out going X Games mode out in Utah, shredding some powder out there. That is not a drug reference. That means he is snowboarding. Okay. But some big things to talk about today. Um, are big contracts worth it in sports? Okay, obviously money and years. Is this going to be the best March Madness ever? Golf is back? Question mark, exclamation point. I don't know. And then we're going to finish off with top five pizza flavors. Before we get into that, Zach, would you like to, I don't know, introduce yourself, talk about yourself for a second? Up to you.
Yeah, sure. At least we're keeping it in the family. I am Brandon's cousin, but huge Eagles fan, huge Sixers fan. I'm an Oregon Ducks football fan, Nova basketball fan, huge sports fan of the show. I'm glad to be on with you, Nick.
Yeah, thank you. And yes, Zach is by far our biggest supporter known that we have. Always asking us when the episodes are going to be up. Obviously, now getting to be a part of it. You guys probably have heard us talk about him. Saying Zach on here. Now you guys know. All right. Well, let's hop into things here. Big contracts. Zach, obviously, sports are filled with contracts. Guys making money. Guys want in contracts. Guys want out of contracts. But a big thing we've been seeing, at least especially in the baseball realm of things, big contracts, big money, big years. Is it worth it? What do you think?
Man, I think it goes like with hand in hand with what sport you play. I kind of like these baseball contracts. I like the Padres locking up Tatis. I like the Angels getting Trout. I didn't want Trout to go there, but I think it's a smart franchise move to lock him up. You can't let a guy like him walk. I love the Mookie Betts contract with the Dodgers too. Mookie Betts is a year younger than Mike Trout, and I think he's the second best player in the league. Obviously not all these contracts are going to work out. But then I look at the football aspect of it. I don't think these big contracts are worth it in football anymore. Even the quarterbacks, and it might be worth it eventually, but I mean, think about it. You go Wentz and Goff are 1 and 2 in the draft. They're on new teams already.
Yeah.
And at the time, those contracts looked good, but then you're moving on from them. The NFL doesn't want to develop guys. They don't want to be patient with guys anymore. If you're not winning or you're not, getting better each year, you're moving on and you're getting rid of it. And honestly, the running back contracts none of them have really panned out. No. So it's tough. I think it goes with the sport. I like the baseball contracts. I really do. And most of those have panned out. I mean, you have like your Chris Davis didn't pan out, but I think Mookie Betts, if you get 9 out of the 12 years with him at consistent baseball, I think you win the contract, and then you probably move him for pieces down the road. So I think the baseball contracts are good. I love the Tatis deal for the Padres. I think he's going to be a consistent player. He might not be a dude who's going to light it up offensively every year, consistently, but I think defensively, an all-around player, he's going to be fine. I think it's a great move by them.
Yeah, and kind of going off what you said, I kind of made a criteria for success, at least what's been successful for his team. So young, all right? Now, it can't be too young. We're not signing, the guy before he even gets the league. Phillies did that with Kingery. Kingery's not even an everyday starter, right? So give me a young guy that's had early, sustainable success. And by that, I mean he's not getting injured. And it's not just one aspect. I feel like the guys get signed that's only the big hitter. Even pitchers. Listen, obviously you want to lock up big pitchers, but they only play every 5 days. I'm locking up the everyday player for that long, big term thing. And then lastly, when a team has success already and then signs this contract. So the Padres have fallen into this before, right? And Tatis, this is obviously why it's getting brought up. They've made this big contract move before there was any success. Well, guess what? They had success, and Tatis was the center of it, of a 21, 22-year-old. So, yes, that is the right situation to lock it up. I agree. Mookie Betts was great. The Dodgers were there. They needed that extra piece to take the next step. The Kershaw move was great. He signed in 2014. It is now coming up, I want to say it was either last year or this year. But again, the Kershaw thing, boom, that worked out good. Bunch of World Series appearances, obviously last year winning it. Mahomes, MVP, Super Bowl, great long term. Tatis, I think, will be a good one. Like you said, he plays every day. He plays good defense. He hits for power. He hits for average. And he had success with the team. Now, guys like Pujols, long contract, obviously had great long success. What was he, 29, 30 years old when he signed that? Too old. Miguel Cabrera signed his contract in 2016, doesn't end until 2023. They've stunk since 2016, the Detroit Tigers. Stanton, always hurt, was hurt before. Big contract. His contract's not up for a while. Cano signed with the Mariners through like 2022, obviously still not with them. And then lastly, again, these are all the big baseball ones. Votto signed that huge contract, and the Reds have been bad. Okay. So again, I think the big criteria is the team has to be successful.
But the other thing too, and just to add on to what you said, like the Pujols, Cabrera, those are bigger dudes. Those are guys that their body's going to break down fast. Like Tatis is an athlete.
And they're pretty much
athlete. Can play more than one position, can be all over the diamond. If you had to put Tatis in the outfield, you could do it. You could do it. Guy's an all-around player.
Yep.
And locking him up for future, I love it. Pujols, Chris Davis, those guys were power hitter, big dudes, first baseman, that's it. First base DH.
Yep. And it's hard to sign those guys. I understand the power numbers are there, but you can spread that money out to get that same production. And obviously, guess what? If no one's getting on in front of them, what's it matter? Obviously, Mike Trout was there, but even Mike Trout, right? Now you can't get him any pieces because Pujols has all this money.
Now he does. It's hard. It's going to be hard to build a roster around them.
Honestly, and Ohtani hurt, even though he did hit a ball over the eye drop today in spring training. Pretty impressive. But my big thing is look at the guys that win the championships. LeBron, Tom Brady, right?
Yep.
High money, low years. I think that's the way to go. Because then it's, all right, let's reassess. Let's adjust my contract to help the team. Or, hey, I won some games for you. I'm out. We'll try to get production out of there. Obviously, the LeBron effect has had things. Tom Brady effect. But guess what? Those are some of the best to ever do it, and they're always those small, high money, low year contracts. So if you're not going to do it big, get the guy for a couple of years in your championship run, and then let it walk.
Honestly, I think a contract that was just signed the other day, J.J. Watt, 23 guaranteed $1 million. Cardinals, you could have went out and got some more pieces. You wasted a lot of money on a guy that's on a decline in his career.
Yes, young quarterback, and you went and got an old DN. Come on.
He's missed 32 games in the last 5 seasons. That's 2 full seasons.
Yes. And again, it's all this projection, this and that. But it's like, again, I think if you're signing 30-year-olds to these 10-plus year deals, not worth it. Not worth it at all.
I agree.
So, all right, there's our take on the big contracts. But what I want to kind of get to, and I didn't write a lot of notes for this, because I think there are no crazy specific notes needed. Is this going to be the best March Madness we've ever seen? Obviously, COVID year, it's really weird. We didn't get a tournament last year. Zach, what do you think? Is this going to be the best March Madness tournament we've seen?
I've been saying it for a couple of weeks. I think this is going to be the hardest bracket I've ever filled out. I think it's wide open. I think there's so many factors too that they've changed. Like you're staying in a hotel. It's kind of like the bubble system, like the NBA did. You're only in Indiana. There's 2 arenas that you're playing in. It's definitely changed. It's changed. I think, every year experience matters, but I think this year the teams that have that experience, those guys that have been in these situations before, in the tournament, but nobody's been in this type of situation. You're in the bubble right now, pretty much when it goes to it. But I'm not giving my concrete pick here, but I think if anyone is going to do it, this is the year for Gonzaga. I think Gonzaga has a lot going for them. They're number 1 team in the country. I'm not trying to pick my pick right now, but they're led by a senior. They're led by older guys that have played in the tournament before. I'm a Villanova fan. Like I said, Villanova led by a senior, great point guard. Great leader for the team. I think those teams that have the experience, have the guys that have been there before, are going to be the ones that are successful. But, I'm looking at Loyola Chicago. Mm-hmm. Could be a small team that just comes in and, does some damage. I don't know. I think it's going to be a wide open tournament. I think it's going to be the best ever, like you said. I'm excited. This is the first year for Selection Sunday. I think I'm actually going to watch it because they're not bracketing them by region this year, so it's just straight by ranking, which is awesome. So I'm excited for it.
Yeah, and here's the thing. Besides Gonzaga, like you said, everybody's beating everybody. Even Baylor suffered that loss there
Yes.
the other day. Listen, Kansas is going to end up winning the Big 12 tournament. I just have that feeling. They always seem to do it right. Michigan just got crushed by Illinois, who's also in the top 5. Big 10 and Big 12 are showing out right now. I saw a thing where possibly 4 Big 10 teams will be either a 1 seed or a 2 seed.
And there's 3 Big 10 teams in the top 10.
Yeah. So, but here's where the
top 5. Excuse me.
Yeah, I think here's the thing that will hurt Gonzaga, and I heard people talking about this. Obviously, the Big 10 really good, beating up on each other. Obviously Gonzaga won some big games early. I understand that. You got to play your schedule. I understand that. But are they getting tested night in and night out? I don't think so. So what happens when that big adversity hits against Kansas, who's been there, done that, right, been in big games? They just beat Baylor, or Illinois, Ohio State, Iowa, run into one of those schools. What happens where they've been playing good teams all year, top 10 teams? Even schools like, Texas Tech has swept Texas. They played in big games. Texas, West Virginia, they're, like I said, Baylor, Big 12 beating up on each other. So what happens when Gonzaga finally faces one of these teams that's like, screw it, what do we have to lose? We have 6 losses. We've played just as good teams as them. So I think that's the big thing. So I'm going to say, as much as I love the underdogs showing out, I don't think that happens this year. I think the depth in the Power Fives takes over, and those are the teams that strive through. Now it's going to be different teams, which I love to see. Give me Iowa, Illinois. Obviously, I'm an Ohio State guy. Give me an Ohio State there in the Elite 8. I'd love to see it. But who knows? I think you're right. It can be a crazy year where some random teams in the championship, not saying winning it, but in the championship again.
Yeah, I think it's one of those tournaments where, like, usually you go into it and you're like, these 4 teams are probably going to be there at some point at the end. This year, I can't say it. You can't say it. Duke's getting hot at the right time, but again, like, I'm not sure they're built to play in this tournament. I don't even know if they'll get in, but they're a team that, like, one night they look good and the next night they're just not there. This is not a lot of consistency out of those top teams that you usually see. But like you said with Gonzaga, their schedule, I'm usually very hard on the schedule thing with them year in and year out. But this year, for some reason, I feel like as long as you're playing and you're staying consistent with your schedule and playing, that's what's going to help you. These teams that are missing, games because of the COVID stuff, or, you're off, I think that's going to come down to it too at the end. But we'll see. I like the teams with experience this year. I like the teams that are led by the older guys. I think that's going to come into play this year a lot.
Yeah, and two, I think this is going to be the best year for conference tournaments.
Yep.
Because someone's going to get screwed out by, number 8 seed in the Big 12 tournament winning it. And then that team that's on the bubble, there's their spot taken. Because, all those other top 25 teams are going to get in at larges. Top 25 are going to get in. Like I said, the Big 10 has 6 or 7 teams in the top 25. All of them are probably getting in. So if one of these other teams, like, a Northwestern or, a Maryland goes on a run and wins it, Michigan State, there goes that bubble team spot. So it'll definitely be interesting to see there.
And yeah, I'm excited for it, that's for sure. But I'm telling you, this bracket is going to be hard to fill out.
I think that's the big thing too. Like you said, it's based off rankings. And I think the whole excitement of the thing is there was none last year. And people want it. It's one of a lot of sports fans' favorite time of the year. So even if we're not getting all the chaos we think, I think people are just going to love it because it's finally back.
Yep, I agree. And I was reading an article the other day. They were talking about there's going to be, this year they predict the most brackets ever filled out because of missing last year.
Yeah, I'm sure. And this year's going to be the hardest year probably in recent memory. It's going to be crazy. As long as you get those final 4 and at least one championship team, right? Or one finals team. That's the big one. So, all right. And then next up, golf. Zach, been golfing with you a little bit this year. I've been golfing a lot more the past year. more than ever in my life, is golf back? Or is it back? Yeah, I'll say is it back?
I don't know if it ever left. I don't know. I was a big fan of it, but you never really saw it getting, put on social media as much. But now you have like sports bloggers that are blogging about it. They have a podcast that I just watched with Johnny Manziel on it, who's becoming a huge golfer. He said he wasn't playing football anymore. Now he's in the fan control football league, but he was actually trying to pursue like a golf career, like trying to get on the tour.
Yeah.
Um, Heard good things that he was good, but honestly, I think it's back. I think because it's being promoted. I think a lot of these guys are relatable to you and me, like just regular dudes. Like Bryce looks like a dude I would have a beer with and hang out with and stuff like that. So I think a lot of it is just a lot of promotion. It's on social media, these shots, and that's one thing. It's promoted really well lately. And Tiger Woods, of course, was the face of it for so long, but now there's so many guys, and there's so much. There's so many different guys winning each weekend or each tournament that you're like, oh, there are some other people that can golf, and there are other big names in golf. But when we were kids, it was Tiger Woods, Phil Mickelson, and that's all we saw that would win. So it's just kind of like I used to mess with my sister with tennis. Like, it's the same people win all the time. So it's like you kind of lose that. Like, I don't want to. Who cares? I know Tiger Woods is going to win it. So I think it is back. I see it all the time on social media, and that's huge. The one thing you rarely see is, unless the MLB tweets out something, you don't see baseball, and that's what kind of hurts me a lot.
So what I heard too with that, just a little sidebar, there's like a big copyright thing, so it can't get shared as much. I think you're 100% correct that golf, they're putting it out there. Everybody,
Yep.
please post about it, and I think that's the best thing. So I didn't mean to interrupt you there.
No, you're right, and I'm a huge baseball fan. I'm not a huge like sit down and watch golf fan. I've bet on it a couple times, but the thing about it is golf is all over social media, and that's what helps. You get all those shares on Twitter, you get the shots and everything. Kids are getting involved. I know kids. I teach kids that are getting involved with golf, and that's not something when I first started teaching, kids didn't really know anything about golf. Now kids are getting into it. So I think it's a sport that's going to take off as we get older. But I think the social media, the sports bloggers, and the podcasts for it are helping a ton.
Yeah, and I think you're 100% right. I think the whole social media aspect and the podcast, like you said, there's tons of podcasts, big things like obviously the Golf Network's getting out there, putting out podcasts. Barstool has its own golf podcast. There's golf videos. I've watched more golf videos in my life than right now. YouTube and just Instagram and Twitter and
Yep.
all this stuff. But I think a big thing here. All right. So Bryson, 27, John Rahm, 26, Matt Wolf, 21, and Morikawa just won, 24. Those are some of the top 25 golfers, all in their 20s. There was
Yep.
a 19-year-old that just had a great tournament a couple weekends ago, and then your dudes that are in their 30s, pretty much your prime for golf, right? That kind of that 28 to later 30s is where a lot of guys hone in everything, right? You might lose a little bit of power. You just been there, done that. So you got Patrick Reed, who obviously a lot of people don't like, 30. Max Homa, who just won recently, a big win,
Yep.
30. Brooks Koepka, one of my personal favorites, 30. Finau, 31. Again, one of my personal favorites. And then my man, Dustin Johnson. I don't know how much you know about Dustin Johnson there, Zach. 36, and that might have the most swag out of all of them. Dating Wayne Gretzky's daughter
Yep.
there as well. So again, and then Roy McIlroy, Jordan Spieth, all those guys. These are all names that I'm telling you, I didn't know all of them before
Right.
this year. Some of them, yes, the guys like Roy McIlroy and Spieth and those guys. But again, like you said, when I was growing up, the only two I can tell you, Tiger, Phil Mickelson.
Yep. And
That's it.
occasionally VJ Singh would sneak in there.
And so I have all these golfers I just named there, and I'm missing some other popular ones on there. Justin Day, all those type of guys, missing them. So my big thing is COVID was the best thing that ever happened to golf
I agree.
after Tiger Woods. Obviously, Tiger Woods, biggest thing that ever happened to golf. But in this whole rebirth of everything, COVID was the best because guess what? You could easily social distance. It was one of the few public things open. Minus, the couple weeks you had to walk the course, which was horrible for me. People were out doing it. It was packed. Everybody was scared of COVID, but you go to the golf course and it was packed early on. there's more swag to it. Like I said, Finau's wearing a Kobe jersey last year. Obviously, when Kobe passed away on a golf tournament the other day, they were all wearing red for Tiger. Like you said, getting out social media, they're getting these big Nike, Adidas contracts out there. Get the old farts out. A lot of old
Yep.
dudes are out. Obviously, John Daly makes his little show around every now and again. Tiger just got hurt. Hopefully, he's all right. Phil's a cool dude. Get the rest of them out of there. Give me these young guys. Promote them, promote them, promote them. The only thing that will always hurt golf is the money in the youth. It's hard to get unless you have money.
Right.
I'm lucky. I younger, had some money saved up for the first time, was out golfing. Guess what? Life's going to hit here soon. I'm not going to be able to golf all the time like this, but I'm going to take advantage of it now. So that's going to be the big thing that always hurts golf.
Yeah.
All the price, whether it's clubs, getting on a nice course. Obviously, there's always par three, but if you want to play on a nice course, it does cost money. So
Yeah. And I like you said, the biggest thing is these dudes, they have personality. They're not like robots on the course. Like they're doing cool things. They're relating to what's going on in today's society and stuff like that. Like that's what you needed. Like you said, the older guys, I mean, when I was a kid, man, I never wanted to watch golf. The only one I cared about was Tiger Woods.
Yep.
I didn't care about anyone else. I didn't even know anyone else was in the tournament.
The old guys were really that country club-esque guy, and I think we can both agree those are not always our favorite guys in the world. No
Not at all.
offense to them, but there's that aura around them. But these guys seem like normal dudes. Like you said, go out, have a drink with them, go hang out with them. You get to see their personality. And I'm not saying that maybe the 90s golfers were like that too, but they weren't being put out there like that. And Tiger was kicking their butt in every day. You know what I mean?
Exactly. It wasn't even really like competition. Like Tiger Woods was just dominating everybody. And it was just, I don't like sports that aren't dispersed talent. That's why I've kind of lost interest in the NBA sometimes, where I'm just like, those couple of years the Warriors were dominating. The team started playing the Warriors. It was just like the super teams, you know. But I like teams that have, I like sports that have the, you know, the dispersed competition, and golf is definitely at that right now, and that's what's helping it.
I agree. All right, everybody, we are on our final leg here. Okay, so we like doing our top fives. Our top five pizza flavors, types, whatever. Zach, I'm gonna let you go first. What is your top five pizzas? My personal favorite food.
Man, I'm a big pizza eater too. My favorite pizza, my go-to, is sweet peppers with sausage. I love sweet peppers and sausage. I like green peppers and sausage on a Sunday. You know, bacon in the oven. So give it to me on a pizza, sweet peppers and sausage. My second favorite is this veggie bianco pizza that I get at Grotto's. Banging, so good. They actually took it off the menu for a while. I don't know why.
Oh, really?
But banging, love it. They brought it back. Might come surprise. I'm a Hawaiian guy. I love Hawaiian pizza.
Might trigger some people there.
I know. I love Hawaiian pizza. I love pineapple. I love ham on pizza. One of my favorites. Then I got buffalo chicken pizza is my fourth. Yep. And then my fifth, I rarely get this, is a stuffed crust cheese pizza. Okay. That was my school lunch. We went to Town Point, man. They used to have the stuffed crust pizza every Friday, pizza day. But stuffed crust cheese pizza is definitely banging. That's my fifth favorite.
All right. I would have to go. I'll go from the bottom to the top here. Supreme pizza. I only like it, believe it or not. I don't like frozen pizza that much. But something about DiGiorno Supreme, if I'm going to have one, that's it. I'm going to put some red hot chili flakes on there, and I'm going to put some ranch on it. I don't know why, but all those flavors taste very good. On that thicker crust, which I'm usually not a fan of. So I'll go Supreme. Then next, meat lovers. All right. Zach might know Sam's Club. They used to have this meat lovers pizza. It was just, it's pretty much like Costco, people out there, Costco, BJ's, all that stuff. Sam's Club, meat lovers pizza. Parents would take me there, get one slice. It'd be like 50 cents for a slice.
They do have banging pizza.
Yes. They do have banging. Number 3, buffalo chicken. Like you said, give me some ranch to dip it in, and I'll eat it all day. Number 2, Zach, you said it, sausage and peppers on a pizza. Give me that. Pat's Pizza up in Newark, MVP Lounge. that was a great spot before having fun on the town there, as they say, was always my spot. I went before that. $5 pizza, always got the sausage and bell peppers. And then lastly, if you get a good one, there really is none better than just some plain cheese. But it's got to be from right places. Zach, I
Yeah,
don't know if you've ever been, but the Angelo's in Philadelphia,
I have
amazing
not.
cheese pizza. Amazing. I don't want one thing on it. No dipping sauce, no pepper flakes, nothing. I'll take it plain all day, 7 days a week, twice on.
Yeah, I agree, man. Honestly, a good pizza place, you don't even need toppings. Give me the
Oh,
cheese pizza. Give me the cheese pizza.
yep. The bread's good, the cheese good, the sauce is good. All of that. All right, they're us. Zach and I are both foodies. Hey, how about this? Leave it in the comments, people, and we'll promote this. Would you be interested in a recliner sports talk, but instead it'd be recliner chefs? All right.
Man, two
Zach,
chefs right here.
Zach's a big chef. I'm a big chef. Our buddy Warner is a big chef. We all love sports. We talk about some food for game days, talk about food, period, talk about sporting stuff as well. Let us know. Let us
Put out
know.
a spread, baby. We put out a spread.
Yes, I'll put it out there. At the end of this video, Brandon has actually sent me some clips of him skiing and some of his stuff. So I'll try to put that at the end there. Okay. But Zach, before we log off here, do you have any last words? Anything you've been seeing in the sports world? Anything going on? What you got?
Man, I'm excited for your guys' mock draft coming up. That's what I'm excited for. I need one of those. But thanks for having me. Love the show, man. Leave some comments, share it, get it out there, trying to make it big. But thank you for having me, Nick. It was fun. Always a pleasure to talk to you.
Thank you, Phil, for filling in. It was a great show. Hopefully,
Anytime.
Brandon is not Wally Pipp and Lou Gehrig just got his first at bat of his career here. Who knows? For those of you guys that know that, there you go. Give us a thumbs up. All right. Well, my name's Nick.
I'm Zach.
All right. And I'll see you guys next week. Have a good one.